What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Got a new grill alert. New grill alert. Listen, y'all, just got back from the beautiful Caribbean. Came home, and what's sitting on my front porch but the all-new Weber Steath Kettle. It's a 22-inch kettle, just like you used to from Weber, the old classic. But it's in this really cool stealth colorway, y'all. Gonna open this thing up. We're gonna unbox it, put it together, and see what this look is all about. Let's get it. All right, the first thing we got to do is cut this box open, y'all. When you're cutting this stuff open, please be careful. And always remember, cut away from yourself. You see, I had to catch myself there. But yeah, cut away from yourself. That way something slips, you don't get nicked. Y'all, this is pretty standard as far as what the Weber 22-inch kettle goes. You got your small parts box. Here's the lid, and we get a good look at that matte blackish gray color. Don't know quite how to describe it, but again, that's the whole stealth colorway. That ash pan is a matte black, and it's got a little texture to it, but it looks really, really cool, man. And I'm already excited about the way this is looking. We'll get the main part of the kettle out of the way, and we're going to get into all the small parts, the grates, wheels, legs, all that stuff. We'll get all that stuff out, get it organized, and get ready to put this thing together. Now it's time to get the legs on. You got to pay attention. This one odd leg goes into the hole there that's lined up with the handle. Sometimes you have to give a little wiggle until you hear that click and that little pin jumps in. You also have to pay attention to how these legs are situated. They look the same, but they're a bit different, and it will all make a difference as you go to assemble. If you want things to line up correctly, just got to follow the instructions, which you already know I hate doing that, but trust me. Save yourself the aggravation and read the instructions. Now it's time for the wheels. These wheels are really cool. They're like blacked out. They got that little stealth gray where it's usually a white wall. And these, you just get a couple taps with the hammer. You put the little cap on there. Again, y'all, very, very much standard classic Weber kettle. Make sure those wheels spin free and you're good to go. We'll put the little cap on the front leg, make sure no dirt gets jammed in there, and it'll be time to turn this old girl over. Now we're really getting our first look at the color on the kettle. My light's not the greatest, but it's still looking good. We'll throw the ash pan in there. This is a critique I have for Weber. All these years, they haven't made something that is a bit easier. I would charge me $5 more and find a way to make putting this thing on and getting it off a little easier. Those clips are cool and they work, but they're just not, it's not easy. It's not difficult, but it just shouldn't be this hard. Charge me $5 more. Give me some quick clips or something. And I know they might consider this a quick clip, but not in my book. But again, just a critique. And hey, do something a little different, y'all, because this is a pain in the butt. Now the grates go in, standard stuff. You got your charcoal grate. Then you have your main cooking grate, but I do have another critique here. Weber makes a grate that's an accessory, and the ends are hinged, so you can flip those open. You can put coals in and manage your fire. I think they should come standard with that. Charge me the extra money, man. Now we're going to put on the handle. The handle is blacked out, and these newer handles, you see those little pegs on the side? Those are meant to hold tools. And this just goes in with one screw. You just line this up and make sure that those things, they kind of seal together. And yeah, just one screw will hold that in place. But again, I like the way they incorporated the tool holders in that handle. Now we're going to throw the little rubber cover of the ash clean out handle. I forget what that part is called, but that little red accent to me, man, that just really sets this grill off. Work on the lid. I'm using the hook to prop itself up against the side of the kettle there. We're going to put on the damper cover. And it's just that bolt it comes built in, but there's a little washer and you'll have a backing screw on the back. Weber doesn't tell you this in the book, but you are going to need a flathead screwdriver at some point. And that's just a little backing nut that goes on there. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you don't over tighten this. because you do want to make sure that that vent can move back and forth freely. If you make it too tight, then it won't spin. And so, yeah, this is where you need the screwdriver. Weber gives you this little wrench. It comes in the package, and that fits all of the nut sizes that are used on this kettle. But you need something to hold that screw or bolt in place, and so that's where you need a flathead screwdriver. They tell you only need a Phillips in the instructions. That's not exactly true. I guess you could try to clamp that down with your thumb or something, but a flathead makes all the difference in the world. Now we'll throw the handle on. The handles now come with this heat deflector, and the nuts are already on the base of that, and you'll just attach those from the bottom. You use that little plastic wrench that they provide, and this is pretty simple. You just put the nuts on from the backside, use the wrench, and it locks it down, man. Really, really easy. I like the little wrench thing, man. Now it's time for this thermometer. This might be the baddest part of this grill. That thing looks so damn good. It's so slick. It's got that black chrome bezel, and it also has this little bracket that the thermometer sits in. And to me, it looks like a black chrome, and it just looks so damn good. But you want to make sure you line that tab up with that little rectangular hole in the lid. And then there's another tab on the back of the thermometer here. You see that there, and that goes into that little slot. And then the main stem of your thermometer goes into the square hole there on that little bracket. You just want to make sure it lines up correctly. It should sit flush. And then you're going to use the wing nut there, and that goes on the back. Now, you absolutely cannot over tighten this. If you do, your thermometer readings will be all wrong, and you probably will just need to toss that thermometer. Well, this is it, y'all. It's all done. All the assembly is complete, and I am loving the way this thing looks. Again, there's that handle with those tool holders on the sides. I think that's really smart, but I love that it's blacked out, as you can barely see the Weber on there. Again, there's that beautiful thermometer with the housing and the bezel. I think that's the coldest part of this grill. I love the colorway. I love that even when the sun hits it, you only see that spot of the light. Everything else seems to like flush out, and I guess that's kind of why they're calling it a stealth deal. But this whole color scheme, the way it looks, and it is a matte type of textured finish to it, so it's not exactly glass smooth. That is definitely textured, that ash pan. And again, that little red handle thing, man, that sets the whole look off, because that's the only little spot of red you see on here. I really love what they did with this. All right, this thing is all assembled. It's time to get it burned in, man. So I'm going to be using some briquettes from Heart of Charcoal. It's the official charcoal of BKC Cooks. These are jumbo hard-pressed briquettes. Go to heartofcharcoal.com. Check these out, y'all. Get yourself some. I'm telling you, guarantee you that you will enjoy them. So we got to do the burn-in. This is brand new. We want to burn off any oils or any contaminants or anything that might be in there. And get ready to cook on. So nothing like a brand new grill, but we got to get it ready. So if you use our hook, don't forget you always have a hook on the lid of your Weber. Unless your Weber is like ancient, you always have a hook. So, and I'm using a tumbleweed fire starter. Stay away from that lighter fluid, y'all. Get yourself some fire starters, man. These things are great. They're cheap. They're all natural. It's just a bundle of wax. So I'm going to put this here. And I've got my Weber charcoal chimney. I'm only going to do about a half of a chimney. I just need this to burn off for about half an hour or so. And after I burn this off, y'all, actually, I'm going to go right into a cook. That'll be the next video. It'll be available right after you see this one. And we're going to do something special with that, y'all. But yeah, this is it, man. This is the final step. We'll light our tumbleweed. Let those coals catch. They're already burning. We'll be burning in, man. Almost there. Almost there. And by the way, y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brandon, and this is BKC Cooks. Got our fire going. We're getting ready to burn off this Weber Steath Kettle. I've grown up with a Weber kettle. I've always had one until recently. When I moved to Texas, I left my Weber kettle at my house back in Indiana. It's still there. I can use it when I go back to Indiana, but this is the first one I've had in Texas, and I'm loving the way this thing looks, man. It is just really, really cool the way they did this colorway. That matte finish, the little red accent, all the other cool little features. And hey, what can I tell you? It's a Weber kettle, man. If you're new to live fire cooking, Weber kettle is absolutely a recommendation of where to start, what to start cooking on. You will learn a lot about live fire cooking. You will learn a lot about fire management and about how to deal with your proteins and anything else that you're cooking on there. Weber kettle is super versatile. Tons of attachments and inserts, and there really isn't anything you can't do on a Weber kettle. Short of deep frying, which I don't recommend you do around any open flame. But other than that, man, there's nothing you can't do on a Weber kettle, y'all. And they're so doggone affordable. Parts are readily available at just about any hardware store you go to. And you can always order anything you need online. And again, the whole ecosystem of all the parts, pieces, accessories, attachments, it makes it easy to find whatever you're looking for, y'all. I am not paid by Weber, not endorsed by Weber. I don't work with Weber. But it's Weber kettle, man. It's classic. And you almost have to have one in your fleet of grills, y'all. So I'm gonna let those briquettes finish going, get those in, put the lid on, we'll burn off and get ready for our very first cook. All right, the coals are ready, y'all. All right. So I have my bottom vent wide open. So I want this to get fairly hot. As hot as these coals will take me anyway. And again, the burn off is going to get any residual oils or residue off of the grates and the inside of the kettle as well as the inside of the lid. Now, you want to do this with any new grill. Put that lid on. I have the top damper wide open. I want maximum airflow. I'm not controlling fire for cooking. Again, I'm just burning this off, y'all. And the thermometer is already instantly jumping up in heat. We're just going to let this rock for about 30 to 45 minutes. And once that's done, this is ready to cook on. Well, y'all, that's it for this one. Fire is rolling. We're burning in, y'all. Look, the next video, the first cook on this thing, is ready now. So get on over there and check it out, y'all. It'll probably be up here on the screen somewhere. If not, look for the latest video, man. We'll be there. Again, I'm Brandon. This is BKC Cooks. I'll catch y'all on the next one.